TV.
Thank you for watching Morning at NTV from wherever you are. This is Stephen Mbide coming to you live from Namaswa. This is Namaswa Stela along the Entebbe Road. But for now, I'll give you what's happening here on the ground. First of all, there is a lot of traffic congestion as you drive from Namaswa stage. That is the Namaswa stage in front of me, and behind me is Namaswa Stela. But that also connects you from Ndeje Rubugumo as well as the side of Zana as you make your way towards this particular point of Ndeje stage. And from this particular point, as you can see on your vehicle, on your screen there, vehicles are fast moving until they reach this particular point where I'm standing right now, as they continue their way towards Chibuye and towards the city center, where you're going to be finding a bumper-to-bumper situation as you drive towards the city center. This is also almost going to take you 30 minutes from Namaswa to the city center. It's a really hell of traffic jam here as you make your way towards the city. But right now, as you drive from the city heading towards the Entebbe Road, for you the rest of the road is so clear for now. But this particular point where I am standing, there is that particular point from where you branch off towards Kaboa or where you branch off towards Salama. That particular point is one of the very dangerous spots for the people driving along Entebbe Road, because many times we see so many accidents happening around this particular point, especially at night, where we see especially those people driving or coming from Nyondo Club, because it's just a few meters from here. As they come out of Nyondo Club to cross towards Kaboa or to continue towards the Entebbe Road. Many people here are knocked either dead or they are left with many injuries as they make their way towards any of the direction they are heading to. But I want to find out from a gentleman that is just standing next to me, because he is a professional driver. He's not only a professional driver, but he's also a chairman and a co-founder of Uganda Professional Drivers Network, UPDN. That is a professional body that brings together so many drivers associations in Uganda. These people are part of the group that is organizing the World Day of Remembrance of road traffic victims, that is commemorated every third Sunday of November. This Sunday will be the third Sunday that will be commemorating this day. First of all, good morning to you, Mr. Charles Edwin.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm okay. Bebo. That's the farthest I can go in speaking Iteso. And now, we are going to commemorate this day, that is the World Day in remembrance of the road traffic victims. That is the third Sunday of every November. First of all, take us through the history of this day and why is it important for us as Ugandans to commemorate this day. Because I know in Uganda, at least on a daily, we lose 10 people in road accidents. And just last year, the police traffic report indicated that at least over 3,600 people lost their lives. That is almost 46 buses that we saw full of people are just dying and perishing in road accidents. So just tell us, why is this day so important for Ugandans? Because we're also part of the people who lose lives on a daily.
Yes, when you talk about accidents affect every family and affect everyone, regardless of your religion, your tribe, and your placement. Now, when you talk about accidents, you talk about lives. People lose lives in accidents every day. Now, about this day that we're celebrating, this day was started in United Kingdom by a charity of road traffic victims that started a charity, and in 1993 and started actually celebrating the lives of people that had passed on accidents. Now, in 2005, the UN, in a resolution 60, adopted this day and made it international. It's celebrated every third Sunday of November, and that's why we're also joining the rest of the world to celebrate this day. Now, in Uganda this year, we as Uganda Professional Drivers Network, we are taking lead to also show a Ugandan that life is very important, that we should not lose lives in accidents, and yet we can save lives. So we want to come up to the world and show the world and do our advocacy to everyone that sits behind a steering wheel, and such that everyone is very careful when he's driving, because the cause of accidents in Uganda is basically reckless driving and careless driving. That is the leading cause of accidents, and worldwide. But for the Ugandan case, it's basically reckless driving. People drive vehicles, so many people drive vehicles when they do not even know how to observe traffic signs.
That's what I was going to come to. When you talk about professionalism, not everyone who sits behind behind a car or in a seat to drive a car is a professional driver. Many times we just come up, maybe a father or a friend teaches you how to drive, and before you know it, after a week or two, you're on the road driving. And this, you're saying, is part of the reckless driving that we see on the roads. But I just want to know, as professional drivers, we see so many driving schools around town. But across the country, there are very few driving schools. How is this also impacting on the unprofessionalism that we see on the road?
Well, if again go through how people get driving permits, because not everyone who has a driving permit actually is a professional driver. Okay. There's a difference between professionalism and just owning a license, because a driving license is just a license to allow you to drive a vehicle from one place to the other, but does not qualify you to become a professional driver. Okay. Professionalism is categorized in different ways. You must be a professional to drive a category of vehicles. That's when you call a
like
professional.
A taxi, like a long truck.
You should be a professional either driving long truck drivers. You should be a professional either of moving a taxi, a commuter, a PSV vehicle. You should be a professional of either driving fumable goods. You should be a professional of either driving heavy load goods. Now, when you come back to how do people get their driving licenses? Of course, they go to schools, they go to training schools, they are trained and they are tested by the IOV and then given their driving permits. But now, why does the same people who have been trained, who have owned these permits, drive recklessly on the roads? That's the question we pose. Maybe there's something wrong.
What is that something wrong? That maybe you as professional drivers network, you're seeing that is on the road that is causing many of these accidents?
Most of these drivers that we have driving carelessly, driving on phone, lack a lot of professionalism on the wheel. Because if you're a professional driver, one is you're supposed to observe every traffic sign, every road sign, and respect all the other road users. Now we see so many people trying to struggle for the same space, that causing more accidents and causing lives. Now, professionalism is lacking in all our drivers. When you talk about professionalism, we want to see a driver that, one, observes road signs, a driver that is respecting other road users, a driver that is properly trained to go on road. Now, when somebody is not trained, is not professional, he cannot do that, he cannot observe that.
Mr. Charles Edwin, what would want you to address the issue of discipline on the road? You're talking about professionalism, but I see many times away from the law enforcers, like we are seeing the traffic officer that side behind us is trying to guide traffic flow. But you see many times someone can just come from here, from Entebbe Road, and makes a U-turn towards back to Zana. I see a lot of indiscipline on the roads that you will find many riders, or we as pedestrians, are walking on wrong side of the road. I think you as a network, you'd also think about addressing this issue of discipline on the road, away from, because that will also talk about the professionalism or even the reckless driving. But how are you as the network trying to see that we ensure this issue of discipline on the roads?
Because now when you talk about, like I explained earlier, a professional driver will observe road signs.
I understand, but there are those who are not professional.
Now, If you're not professional, then you'll not observe you'll not have the respect for other road users. And therefore you're indisciplined because you actually do not have, you cannot observe anything.
Okay.
So it starts with professionalism. It starts with you having passion for with what you're doing, and then you'll respect everyone. I'm telling you, if even you in your profession of journalism, you have a code of conduct. But if you're not professional, then you'll not observe the code of conduct of your profession. It's the same thing that comes to drivers. If you do not have a code of conduct, then you'll not adhere to it. Now,
let's also address.
See just somebody sitting on the wheel. For you, you'll think that this person probably is a professional person, but actually he only owns a driving permit, but he does not know how. He does not even know the road signs. Most of the drivers that we have cannot even interpret the road signs.
Maybe also let's address the issue of the impact of these accidents on the roads that are caused by many of the reckless drivers and unprofessionalism that we see on the road. You as the network, have you been able to establish the cost implications to Uganda, to families, but also to individuals, or as a result of these accidents that we see on the roads?
Oh, the impact is so huge. When you talk about the impact of road traffic victims, it's huge because, I mean, every family in Uganda, maybe 80% of families are affected by these accidents. We have had so many people that have succumbed to accidents. Now, that is not only to individual. The impact starts from government. Government loses. Of course, when you lose our people, we have lost very important people. We lose, government loses, families lose, and we are all losing. So the whole country and everyone loses because of these road traffic accidents. But we can do something. Now, we have not been able to assess how much impact these road accidents have caused on a government and on family because we do not have that data. But that's the data we are putting together, such that we're able to show the whole public that, look, we are losing this amount of money from these people that these people have generated. Now, we are losing vehicles and we are losing people because people are transformed into benefit from the country.
Okay, if you're just joining us now on Morning at NTV, I am with Charles Edwin. Charles Edwin here is the chairperson and is the founder of Uganda Professional Drivers Network. We are trying to address or talk about the issue of the road carnage, and this is just because on Sunday, the third Sunday of November, the world over commemorates the World Day of Remembrance of road accident victims. And this is just not a celebration, but it's also good enough to know that, yes, this is a problem that we experience on a daily. You and me, who is watching, can be a victim of road accidents on any other day. So this is so important for us to talk about this issue and see how we can address the professionalism of our drivers, and also to know that yes, this is a serious problem, but it needs to be addressed. Now, you as a network, I just want to know, we have so many stakeholders. We have the police, of course, through the traffic police, traffic department. We have the Minister of Works and Transport. We have you as a civil society. We have members of parliament. How can we use these concerted efforts to ensure that there is professionalism? Because you know, as NTV for us, we have a campaign called Trade Deco together with Shell to ensure there is road safety. Every life matters. That's why we say we have to Kwedako. So you as partners, how can you bring together all these efforts to ensure that, yes, our professionalism, level of professionalism increase, but also the awareness, we create more awareness about this issue that you are trying to drive, and make sure that everyone, at least every driver, everyone who wants to be on the road is professional enough and doesn't go on the road if he's not professional.
Well, on this day, which is coming up on Sunday, 17th November, we want to call upon every person, but above all, we want first to thank our partners, NTV, Monitor Publications. We want to thank Ministry of Local Government and all our partners that have stood with us and that are putting money into this. Now, on this day, we want to, because as we are an NGO, we basically advocate for professionalism. We're calling everyone, first of all, because every life counts. We call upon everyone to be careful behind the wheel, but also the whole country to to invest in professionalizing drivers. But above all on this date, since it's a day of remembering accident victims, because we've seen several times accidents happen, but we also want to thank the President who has had a helping hand, sometimes in helping a few people that have been in fatal accidents. Now, we are calling upon government to have a clear mechanism of helping everyone who is involved in an accident. Because we do not have a mechanism of helping everyone who is involved in an accident. But also, we want to call upon government to have, at least to have an advocacy on equipping every Ugandan on knowledge to help somebody who is in road, who is affected by an accident.
Okay. Maybe you can direct them where the commemoration will be.
The commemoration will be at Railway Square. We are going to march from City Square to Railway Square. We are going to have a brief prayer, but also speeches. And we're also going to remember to have speeches of victims of road traffic accidents and people that have been affected, also other people that have been affected by road traffic accidents. And we are going to have our petition to our guest of honor who is going to be on that day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Edwin Charles. Is the chairperson and founder of Uganda Professional Drivers Network here. And we've been talking about the road carnage just because 27th November, this Sunday, is going to be a World Day of Remembrance of victims that are due to road accidents. Stephen Mbide here signing out, but remember, 10 people die on roads every day. This is so worrying. You and me could be any of these victims. So we need to be so responsible. Trade Deco, when you are using the roads. Stephen Mbide signing out now, handing over to you, Mala, who's there in the studios with Mr. Tomusime Edwin. And of course, I know the property show is coming up next, just in a few days from now. Right now, take it.